Hey guys, it's Congressman Mike Garcia. Hey, this message is for the residents of Val Verde as well as the residents in Castaic and parts of Santa Clarita affected by the environmental disaster known as the Chiquita Landfill. I want to make sure that you guys know everything that I know about what's going on with this issue. I want to make sure that you know not only what's going on at the landfill, which is right behind me, but also what's going on at all levels of government and the discussions that we've been having with various representatives of our government at the county level, state level, as well as the federal level. I also want to give you an update on what we're trying to do to help mitigate this at all levels of government as well. First of all, let's start with what's going on at the reaction site, as it's called. It's roughly 30 acres right behind me. You can see most of it's tarped with this yellow plastic cover. What's been happening and a lot of complaints in the last few weeks from residents saying that the fumes are getting worse, the smells are getting worse. We literally can't stay in our homes overnight, or if we do, we've got to keep our air conditioners running all day long and close the windows. But at a macro level, what's happening is the ground is still effectively sinking about a foot per month. The operating temperatures are still roughly at about 230 degrees when they should be at about 130 degrees below the surface. And just recently what's been happening is the pressure, because everything's been coming down and putting more stress on the west side, which is what we're looking at, we're actually starting to see erosion coming out of the Chiquita landfill, which is why they're focusing on this area to shore that up, to put more plastic on there, but also drill horizontally into the side of the landfill to release more of the leachate. Chiquita Canyon has been adamant that they are getting more leachate, which is effectively this black tar, toxic stuff coming out of the landfill at a rate higher than they have in the past. But the reality is that we still face the same physics problem that we had without root cause of knowing what exactly is going on down there. And we are still being subjected to these very unhealthy conditions, even with small clusters of neighborhoods getting cancers at astronomical rates. So it continues to be a problem. There's no telling whether this is a 6-month problem or a 6-year problem. We can't get any insight from the landfill as to what is root cause and what the end date of this is in terms of the solution. So that's the ground truth on what's happening now. It's going to continue to be the way it is for a while. We're going to continue to smell the fumes because of this horizontal drill that they're doing. It's a bigger pipe, it's a bigger release, and so we are going to smell it, we're going to feel it, and it's going to be at higher rates because of the current operations on the west side of the reaction site. I want to also talk to you about what's going on at multiple levels of government. As you know, I've been asking for 3 things. One, for a state of emergency to be declared. If this doesn't warrant a state of emergency at the county, state, and federal levels, I don't know what does. We know something is wrong. We know this is getting worse. We don't know what the solution is. We need a state of emergency. The second thing that I've been asking for is to cease operations here except for mitigating this environmental disaster at the reaction site. We need all hands on deck to focus on what's going on there. With the exception of local trash services, we shouldn't have to pay 3 or 4 times more, but they should still be taking local trash from the Santa Clarita Valley, Val Verde, Castaic especially, so that we're not affected by that. But focus all other efforts on mitigating and getting to root cause and ultimately solving this environmental disaster at the reaction site. And the third thing is that we have an explanation. We deserve an explanation for what's going on out there. We deserve compensation for what's going on up there, and we deserve accountability for what has happened in the past up there. The conversations I had with the county, even in the last day or so, are very, very frustrating. I've been told flat out from Catherine Barger that a state of emergency won't do anything. It won't add any value, and that's frankly not true. She's also said that we're doing things for political purposes, and that is absolutely 100% not the case. If you live here, you know this is an environmental disaster. You know that this is an absolute nightmare right now to live through these conditions, and I've been out here several times, especially in the last year, and we know that this is not a political issue. And actually declaring a state of emergency does open up more levers for us. At the state level, we get access to more programs, more resources, and a state declaration of emergency is highly dependent on the county itself also supporting that state of emergency declaration. So the bottom line is, if it doesn't do anything, what's the downside of declaring a state of emergency, Catherine? And we need to absolutely stand behind our constituents on this one. If we're going to make a mistake, I'd rather err on the side of caution, declare the state of emergency, free up resources at the state level, which then begets more resources from the federal level with FEMA, who's able to come in. The EPA has other options available to them as well. So I am imploring the county, and I'm imploring our constituents and everyone that lives in the area to call our supervisors and ask for support for the state of emergency so that we can get this done at the state level. I've written letters to the governor. I know Assemblywoman Pilar Chiavo feels the exact same way that I do. Obviously, this is not for political purposes. She's written letters to the governor as well. She's trying to get more people on board in Sacramento. And we're doing everything we can at the federal level, but we need the state and the county to get on board to make that a little bit easier for us. The path moving forward. Earlier, just a few days ago, I introduced a bill called the Chiquita Canyon Tax Relief Act, which basically means that any money you get in terms of compensation, either from the landfill in the past, landfill in the future, or through litigation, lawsuits, class action lawsuits, any money that you receive as a result of that is not taxable. It's tax-free, it doesn't go towards your gross income, it doesn't put you in a higher tax bracket, and most importantly, it doesn't prevent you from getting things like food stamps if you qualify for them right now. It doesn't prevent you from getting access to WIC benefits and other social welfare programs that you may be receiving right now. But if you receive that Chiquita Canyon compensation, you may not qualify for. So I'm pushing that act at the federal level. That should get bipartisan support, and you've got my commitment that we'll keep pushing this. Again, though, I just want to make sure you guys know what's happening. I believe in transparency. I believe in clarity, and I want to make sure that you understand the conversations. We need the county to get on board for the big win here. Okay, we need the county to help us dedicate more resources, the county public health office to be more engaged, to characterize, to get the data, to come in with solutions and come in with resources, but especially support the declaration of a state of emergency. I'll follow up with more information as I get it, guys. I know this is a huge problem. You've got my commitment that as a neighbor, as someone who lives in this area as well, I will keep fighting to make sure that we fix this problem ASAP. Take care, guys.